Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back as always to another video on the channel. It's Ansonex, and we've all been excited for Deadlock's next major patch since that original leak back in the spring revealing that there were still over a dozen heroes in development. And in the months since then, the Deadlock team, funnily enough, can't find the shutoff valve. More's leaked out, been data mined, or just flat out revealed about the upcoming major content updates. So I wanted to put all the plausible info we have and leaks we have in one place, and we'll talk about what we know is in the update, what's likely, and what's not in the update for sure at the end of the video. And so to run you through a series of events of the stuff that has leaked out in the info that we've gotten about the update, it all started back before even the item rework back in the spring when Deathy started to stream with Average Jonas and accidentally flashed a hero roster with 10 heroes under the testing label that aren't even in the game yet. And this was the first time the existence of a real miles ahead secret playtest was revealed to the wider player test base. And a few weeks after that, the item shop rework update came out, and as that update has gone on and its meta became pretty stale and the game balance was worsening, the testers got restless for an update in an increasingly vocal manner. Eventually, to the point that Yoshi, the anonymous lead developer for Deadlock, or perhaps even a few developers, put out a message reading the following. We are seeing the community get really hyped for an imminent update, but we want to let you know that the update won't be coming for some time still. The entire team is focused on the update. It has a lot of new content, and we are very excited to get it out, but it isn't ready yet. We know this will be disappointing news to some. We'll let you know when it's very close and are able to predict the date. Separately, there are also some balance changes that we think are important to address, some recent issues, so we'll likely be releasing those in a few days. And Yoshi replied to a couple messages that were asking about the balance changes, which that wound up being the July 29th patch. But when asked about if new heroes would be in the major content update, Yoshi simply replied, "Yeah." That's my Yoshi voice, by the way. And there were also a handful of smaller leaks that happened in this time, and we'll go over those in a minute when we're actually listing everything that's leaked. But months after Deathy's leak, in early August, we got two new images of the hero roster. First, of the main menu roster view, and then of the Join Queue hero select screen. And I'll refer to both of these as roster leaks through the rest of the video. And then just earlier this week, a leaker with a default Reddit username began posting photos, extremely pixelated screenshots of what were determined to be Boho and Bookworm. After being confronted about the legitimacy of these leaks due to how altered and distorted these screenshots are, they posted a picture of the new Lash model, and no, that is not the mod created after the Deathy leak. Here are the two side by side with the fan-made one on the left. You can see it's clearly a much more developed version. And so that's kind of our timeline of big leaks about this upcoming update. But like I said, little things have come dripping out of the faucet. So I'm going to go over every single thing that's leaked that I'm confident in. And at the end, we'll go over what exactly I think will be included in the next major update, starting with the new heroes and starting number one with Bookworm. We've got a couple different portraits for her, but what we really want to talk about is the Reddit leak. And this pixelated image shows the ability Inspiring Charge, which had also leaked previously, but is a different description than the prior one that we got. Inspiring Charge is her ultimate ability, which sends quote-unquote spectral knights forward, which displace enemies. Recently, though, it seems like those spectral knights may have been changed to horses. Part of the things leaking out is that as the time between patches has really grown to be real long for us, some streamers have become much more open about details they know or have heard about the upcoming patch. So I'll let you know what comes from images or screenshots and what comes from people talking as we go. And that change from knights to horses is the first example of that. And we've also heard that Bookworm is a full-on support character. Then next up, we got Boho and a portrait for Boho as well, and she had a similar Reddit leak and was actually the first leak from the leaker, and it showed the backside of her model as well as an ability skip shot, which we don't have a similar reference for like the Bookworm leak. The leaker also said that Boho's ult is a vortex web that does AoE damage, but that she still is in development and not to expect her in the upcoming update, which lines up with her being missing from the roster leak screenshots. But with how much that has come out related to her, I felt like it'd be a little bit of a crime to not put it in this video. Come on, right? And then maybe the hero that we've heard the most about, Doorman, and we've got a couple different possible portraits. The one on the right is probably the newer one, and we know from the hero select screen leak that many of the new heroes will have their name changed, and one of them is Doorman. We could guess the names for literally days. Feel free to leave your guesses below, but we know that he's between Shiv and Vindicta, because this hero select screen is in alphabetical order. My guess, and again, this is just my guess, is Threshold. I think that because we also know a few things about Doorman's kit, which came from a now deleted VOD from the streamer situation. And as we get into the kit info for heroes, I'm not going to go into deep detail, rather, I'm going to talk about their general identity because I want to focus more on what I'm very confident will be in the update, and when we get into specific abilities, like we saw with Calico, Viper, etc., it's very easy for that stuff to change, and we know a lot more about some heroes than others. And so it's probably a surprise to not very many people that Doorman teleports around the map, possibly through different buildings, and maybe even being able to teleport your entire team by opening doors or perhaps passing through Maelstrom thresholds. Our next hero is Drifter, and by the portrait, it certainly seems like he's a vampire with the red eyes and the fangs, but again, from the situation VOD, it seems like Drifter is going to be able to like throw a dagger and then be able to drift through space and kind of teleport Drifter to the target. And so then Frank, obviously we have his portrait, but he specifically had a bit of a large leak when a playtester from the experimental branch accidentally posted his bug report to the public forums instead of the experimental one, and here we saw his ult and the backside of his model as well. And his ult functions as a resurrect and does a big burst of AoE damage. Did a segment on Deadlock Weekly on this the week that it had come out. And then we have Priest, who's got a couple different possible portrait options, and supposedly he is going to be a tanky M1 character that's meant to play in close ranges, up in the face, a similar way to like Abrams plays. And Priest is another hero that is going to have a name change, and I think that he will likely be Vesper, which a Vesper is kind of like a prayer that you say at dusk. Which, I mean, that's pretty fitting, right? Then Punk Goat, which his portrait is a big upgrade from the Deathy leak where he was still using Shiv's model. This is completely new, and he's also going to get his name changed as well, and I think this one is honestly pretty easy to hit the nail on the head. I think it's definitely Billy. I've got no concrete info, but I mean, it's just too perfect that I don't know, maybe Valve will be a little bit more creative than me though. And then we have Vampire Bat, her portrait, as well as her name being changed, and I've seen a lot of people saying Mina, who is a female character in Dracula, and I mean, you hear that reasoning, and I mean, it's hard to think of anything else, right? And supposedly she's like Haze, but much more glass cannon-y. Can do a ton more damage, but can die a ton faster. And then Calico's getting a new portrait, which makes me wonder, with Ava so prominent in the portrait, if Calico's going to become like Cal and Ava or something similar to how we got Mo and Krill. I feel like you could make that work. And then Infernus is going to be getting a new portrait with some stylized hair, and Infernus's model, I feel like it will probably get an update to match that. It's maybe undergone the most iteration over the past year out of anybody, maybe Abrams as much. I think we're on version 3 of the past 12 months and 5 in total, so I do wonder if a new model will be coming to match that. But we haven't seen any screenshots of it yet, if it is coming. And then the big one, Ivy, who is also going to be getting a new portrait, that it's significant enough to suggest a change in her model is going to be coming as well with it. Geist is in a similar camp. I expect a new model to match this new portrait, but we haven't seen any leaks or screenshots of that yet. And then Lash will be getting a new portrait, and in the past few days, the Boho Bookworm leaker actually released this photo of Lash, which may or may not be work in progress, and he is looking absolutely shredded. Which, if he's looking that yoked, I'll forgive the curly mustache. Mirage is getting a new portrait as well. Pocket is going to be getting a bit of a glow up in the same vein as Abrams did. It just feels like a finished version of his current look. Full new model incoming for Pocket. Then Vindicta is going to be getting a new portrait and model as well. The same treatment as the other heroes with a much more ghastly model to incite her ghostly image. She is undead after all. I feel like some people forget that she isn't just blue. And then Viscus is getting a new model. This one certainly seems to be controversial. We talked about this one on Deadlock Weekly a month or so back. I thought it was going to be a skin for Viscus at the time, but it does seem like that is going to be his default model based on the portrait we see now. And then Viper, the same week as the Deathy leak, Viper, we saw that she had a new work-in-progress model in development, and that continues to be the case, but it doesn't seem like it's quite ready yet based on the unchanged portrait. And then Wraith is getting a new portrait, which suggests a new model as well, and they've been working on a new Wraith model for months now, at least since before Halloween. I have a video of this new work-in-progress model that was sent to me months ago, and Obviously, it's from around Halloween, which I doubt, frankly, at this point it winds up being the version that we see. It would probably be in the game by now if it was, but it shows there's definitely a new model down the pipeline somewhere. And then, I mean, I'm sorry to mention somebody who's getting nothing, but I mean, we're doing all this, we still can't get to, come on, somebody, we gotta get to Yamato, please. Or like, just put the mod in as the default. Pay that artist whatever, and put that in as the model for now. We'd all be better off for it. And then, guys, moving on from specifically heroes, the things that we're going to talk about from here on out are combinations of multiple independent sources that I've pulled. They're not things that are coming from like a really juicy screenshot of the new Lash model or something like that. I pay attention to every single quote-unquote leak, but with things that don't have explicit proof, I look for multiple independent parties to say similar things, at least as it comes to Deadlock. For example, Crayon, other non-English speakers, the Reddit leaker, and more have all talked about map changes, for example, in one way or another. One of those changes that I will talk about is that yellow and green are being differentiated from each other significantly, possibly even a full facelift or redesign. There's a possibility that a bank and a port are going to be added to yellow. There are some models that have been found in the files that could relate to that. But either way, significant changes to the outer lanes are coming. And then texture upgrades as well. The entire map, but specifically the buildings, are going to be getting a major art pass / upgrade. And then I have this under gameplay. It's probably not actually gameplay. A new playable main menu is in development as well. The concept is that like you kind of walk up to like, I don't know, like an arcade machine or something, and you can queue from here. Or you go to a movie theater and you can sit there and watch matches from there. Or something else brings you to Hero Test. If you've played Deep Rock Galactic, it's not based on that, but like imagine a similar lobby concept where you can kind of run around and do stuff while you're in the menu, so to say. And there was a prototype for this that was found in the files that's called hideout_test. People believe this to be an early prototype of that playable main menu that's now leaking out. And then, guys, as it comes to UI ability icons, I've only really seen this mentioned and seen no media evidence other than just like a couple people texting or like mentioning it in an offhand comment on stream that there are new ability icons in development. And I include it because it does make total sense. The icons now, like, they don't match the new art style, and they certainly won't once all the art passes get done, which, not that I've seen them, but like I have to imagine that it's the ability icons in comparison are going to look multiple levels below everything else in the game at that point. So I think it makes total sense that those are in development. And so, guys, people are saying that this update has enough content for Valve to slap the open beta label onto it. And if this amount of content is true, frankly, I agree. But this is only people saying that there's a ton of content enough to justify calling it an open beta, and not people saying that it's going to be an open beta in the next update. And if I'm honest, I doubt Valve would even let the secret playtesters in on that anyways. They've shown to be a little bit less than closed-lipped. And so I don't think the open beta is coming, but I'll give a little bit more of a justification for that at the end. At least not yet. I think it's coming, but, you know, not in the next month. And so, guys, what am I actually pretty sure is in this update? What can I be 90% positive in telling you is going to be playable in Deadlock in whenever sometime expires? Primarily, 7 new heroes. Those heroes are Bookworm, Doorman, Drifter, Frank, Priest, Punk Goat, and Vampire Bat, or whatever these heroes wind up being named. None of these heroes do the same thing, and they all provide critical redundancy to the other roles that heroes fill on the map, whether that be Kelvin or Shiv or Haze. Hopefully we start to see a few less Kelvins, a few more Bookworms, a few less Shivs, a few more Franks, etc. Then, guys, I think we're also going to be getting new models for the following existing heroes: Ivy, Geist, Lash, Pocket, Vindicta, Viscus, Viper, and Wraith. Then, as it comes to changes on the map, green and yellow are going to be getting their facelifts, as well as the building textures getting a big upgrade. So now, what big leaks that have come out are not going to be in the update? I certainly think we'll be missing Skyrunner, Swan, and Boho, which are all characters from the Deathy leak that just frankly seem to be on the back burner for now. We haven't seen much from them other than Boho. Then, guys, Trapper, Wrecker, Raven, and Slork, don't use the F word to describe Slork, are not going to be in the update as well. These are the current heroes in Hero Test. For whatever reason, they seem to be on the back burner as well. Maybe Valve was just more inspired to get the 7 that we talked about done. And then I really don't think the open beta is quite yet, just based off how fluid the game state still is and how clearly Valve is still tinkering with major aspects, whether that be Rejuve or Soul Economy. And so what do I think might be in the new update? new playable main menu, very interesting, but I don't know, and ability icons. And just as a reminder, guys, I don't have a wire planted inside Valve or anything special. I'm confident in the stuff that I talked about in this video, but at the end of the day, anything can happen. With leaks, we're getting a view in that we really shouldn't be getting, and Valve is well within their right to change anything at any time, so don't get mad at me if they don't call Vampire Bat Mina or something like that. But guys, thanks so much to the Data and Stuff Discord server, which archives a lot of this stuff once it comes out, and thank you so much to the members as well, guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic day. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more Deadlock coverage, obviously, this is the place for it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you again on Sunday. Peace.